Hey guys, Paul Gomez, Gomez Training International. Today we're going to talk about more unarmed skills and unarmed tactics. What we're talking about particularly is a structure known as the fence. The fence is a term sort of codified by Geoff Thompson. Geoff with a G is a Brit. He's a British bouncer, worked the door for 30 years. Wrote a book and video on this topic, and actually if you go to YouTube, the video has been posted on YouTube and you can watch the whole thing right there. But what the fence is a hand structure, a hands up, palm out structure designed to allow you to maintain space, control space between you and the person you're interacting with, so that if they do choose to launch an attack, you have more options and are better able to respond. Now the fence, as I use it, is both of my hands are fingertips up, palm out. My fingertips are in the eye line. I'm actually looking across my fingertips at the camera in this case, or across my fingertips in the eye line of the person I'm interacting with. My palms are out. The hands are staggered. Yeah, they're not. Some people will work a fence where the hands are kept symmetrical, kept side by side, and that works fine. Personally, I find a staggered fence more functional for me. So, fingertips are up, palms are out. My elbows are relatively in. What this does is it tends to direct people, when they do fire off shots, they tend to go around the hands. Believe me, anybody can punch through my fingertips. They're not going to stop anything. But subconsciously, it is perceived as a barrier. And so the tendency is to punch around it. Of course, any shot that has to go in an arcing shot, a looping shot, it's going to take more time than a shot that travels in a straight line. So if I can get the guys that are going to, throw shots to my head to take more time doing so, I'm pretty happy with that. That gives me more options in responding. So the fence is a critical part of your pre-contact, pre-fight skills. You need to understand what it is and how it plugs in. Now, show a couple of drills and talk about a few more things. One thing is understanding distance, understanding action beats reaction, and space. Right now, we're going to play a little game. I'm going to reach out and touch him in the stomach. His goal is to swat my hand before I touch him in the stomach. That's all we're going to do. All right. Right there, almost every time, I'm touching his stomach before he's able to swat my hands. Action beats reaction. There's really no way around that. Now, we'll do the same thing, but this time go ahead and pick your hands up, just fold the elbows right there. Now his hands are higher. His hands are several inches higher than they were. We'll do the same thing again. And it goes from almost 100% fail to 100% success by that simple, small degree of motion. Now, let's put that in context. When it comes to interacting with somebody, if your hand, if you're talking to somebody and it's not going the way you want it, your hand's hovering around down here, hovering around to go for that knife, to go for that gun, because you think that's going to save the day, you've got nothing up here to protect your head. So when that guy decides to open his physical discussion with a strike to your face, you're going to get hit. And what is the number one most likely occurrence after you've been hit once? You're going to get hit again and again. So having our hands down to try and access some tool quickly really doesn't play out very well for us in an actual conflict, an actual interaction. So what we need to do is get our hands up. Talk with your hands, get your hands up here, again into what Geoff Thompson calls a fence. So they're here, so they're available to both reach him, strike him if you choose to be preemptive, and also to protect yourself should he launch that attack. By having the hands high, you have options that you simply don't have with your hands down by your side. So the way this looks is this. If we're here, I got my hands up, I don't want any trouble, and just let me go, leave me alone, whatever, and he chooses to launch an attack, from here I've got some ability to protect myself, minimize damage. That's not going to happen if my hands are lower. That's not going to happen if my hands never get into the fight. So working with the fence, keeping your hands up in the eye line, gives you a capability that if you do not have it, you're never likely to get to the point of accessing that knife, that gun, what have you, when you find yourself in a fight. Thank you.